the fake news industry, and of course Joe Brandon and his allies have been doing their best to sell another useless, illegal war to the American public. And I don't think the American public has the stomach for it. And the majority of people who are sympathetic towards my worldview also have no appetite for more war and destruction and all that nonsense that follows. But they're doing their best. They're doing their best. And it's really surprising to see that a lot of like these Democrats, these wokesters, these anti-American fruitcakes, they're coming out of the woodwork to kind of shame us. And I'm going to show you some examples of some of the shaming that has been, being thrown our way. But I said a lot of controversial things on Twitter. I have really controversial opinions about war itself. For the most part, I'm vehemently against war. Under the majority of circumstances, there's just very little reason to go to war unless like we're being invaded or something. But even then, I probably wouldn't do anything. And it isn't because of some profound cowardice. It's just that right now, as of making this video, my government is illegitimate. The 2020 election was total horseshit. Why would I get my dick blown off for this illegitimate regime? Why would I get my arms blown off, my legs blown off to defend a sack of shit like Joe Brandon? I'm not interested in that. Why would I risk my life? Why would I put myself and my family in peril just to defend a country that willingly and openly discriminates against me and my religion and is actively trying to replace my people, displace us, take our money and give it to people who want to kill us? No, thank you. My illegitimate government, the majority of these goofball Democrats in office have pointed the finger at me and blamed me for violent crimes that never even occurred in mass. This isn't fucking hyperbole, you guys. This isn't a conspiracy theory. Why would I go out and die for Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris? I'm rooting for the Russians. I'm rooting for the Russians. I'm not even kidding. This country openly discriminates against me. I'm not interested in fighting for it. I'm not interested in rooting for it. Plain and simple. Let's watch this clip from Kamala Harris.
I mean, listen, guys. We're talking about the potential for war in Europe. I mean, let's really take a moment to understand the significance of what we're talking about. It's been over 70 years. And through those 70 years, as I mentioned yesterday, there has been peace and security. We are talking about the real possibility of war in Europe. So our position is for us very clear, which is as a leader, which we have been, bringing together the allies, working together around our collective and unified position, that we would all not just prefer, we desire, we believe it is in the best interest of all that there is a diplomatic end to this moment. And so where do we want this to end? That is where.
All right, well, that's enough of her. Let me just say something about Kamala Harris. That woman is for the streets. You know what she was doing prior to making it in public office, having a public career?
Long before she met Doug Emhoff, she dated some prominent men, including in 2001, former talk show host Montel Williams. Back then, he was the famous one and had to introduce her to the paparazzi.
She was a groupie. She was a star fucker. She and all these women, they'd follow around Montel and other popular celebrities, way back in the day whenever she was young. That's who she is. I looked it up. She has no kids of her own. She is a stepmother. I was going to say, why don't you send your fucking kids off to war? But she doesn't have any. I'm sure Doug probably wouldn't, or her stupid husband, that cuck, he probably wouldn't want to send his kids off to war. But I'm pretty sure he holds the same opinions as his wife, who wears the pants in the relationship. But I'm not. Isn't that funny? She's going on about peace for 70 years or whatever, and now all of a sudden, a woman from the streets is getting on national television, communicating to the public that we're probably going to go to war because of our idiotic policies and our failure to engage in diplomacy internationally, probably because of their greed, because of some other nefarious reason. Whatever the reason is, they want us to pay the price. They want our children to pay the ultimate price. They want our families to make that grave sacrifice. They will sacrifice nothing but votes. That's about it. That's about it. Where's the lie? And a lot of conservatives, they'll post these like cringy memes about like, these like trans soldiers in like high heels, and they're like shooting like AR-15s and shit. And they're like, we're going to lose the next war. We're going to lose the next war. The government, the military's too what? Good. We should lose the next war. I want us to lose the next fucking war. You know what? You know what that means? A woke military, a defeated America means it'll be harder for this illegitimate government to abuse us, which is what it's doing now. People don't realize this, but Joe Brandon, his illegitimate administration, his federal government has essentially suspended habeas corpus quietly. And as a result, innocent Americans are being tortured right now. They're being held without formal charges in a DC prison for essentially trespassing, if you even want to call it that. I think that's a little bit too much. Mischief, perhaps. Hooliganism, perhaps. But they were calling these people insurrectionists. They were calling them terrorists, Nazis, all this awful stuff. Again, this illegitimate government commits blood libel against me and my people. They make up lies about us. This government, the lying press, the Hollywood industry, they are actively trying to erase and replace people like me. Why would I want to die for their fucking wars and these pet projects they have? I'm not interested in it. Guys, I tapped out a long time ago. I'm at peace with it. If the Russians want to show up, I'd be like, dude, they're over there. Those guys are abusing us. I'll tell you where they're all at. I'd be a collaborator for sure. All right, so let's see. Mike Pompeo, another war pig. He worked for Trump. American weakness always creates risk for our friends and our interests. Fuck your friends and your interests. Why don't you get your fat ass on a plane and you go start some shit with the Russians? I'm not interested. And I wrote, you go to war, then you hack. And he is a fucking hack. These people were supposed to defend Trump and they didn't. They fucked him right in the ass. And then this cuck, I don't even know who this is, Mark Judson. Guy's a fucking loser. Hope he loses. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this guy. If we deploy, let's give our active duty military a well-deserved break. There are millions of well-regulated militias here on Twitter, staunch 2A supporters. Activate and deploy them instead. After all, that's exactly what the militia is for. Pray for Putin, #Crenshaw. And I wrote, we are anti-war. None of us are dying for Joe Brandon's America, idiot. And first off, the militia is not to be activated in acts of aggression. And I don't even think that's how militias work necessarily. Yeah, this guy's a moron. Mark Judson. Judson, eh? Yeah, this guy's a loser. I hope he loses his bid to become a congressperson. Yeah, it's like, why would somebody like me, who is well-armed, who is pro-2A, join a military that actively discriminates against me because of my medical status? I refuse to be pumped full of drugs by these pharmaceutical companies. I don't do drugs. The 420 in my name, that's a joke. But because I don't want to do drugs, my government feels the need to discriminate against me. And by the way, I'm not just being like cheeky and hyperbolic here. I have been discriminated by my government. There was a university that I went to, a college that I went to for about a year and a half before I went to UNLV, or before I went to BYU, and then I went to UNLV. But this college of Southern Nevada, they offer these motorcycle courses. I got a motorcycle, and it was really hard to get into this class. And there was a waiting list. There's a lot of people racing to get into this thing, and they turned me away. They told me I'm not allowed to enter the school. I am not allowed to do the class because I need to be vaccinated. I need to have the shot. I went to the school. I met a girl. I fell in love with a girl that went to this school. I have really good memories at this school, and some of these professors, they ended up becoming close friends of mine. And I was actively discriminated against by this institution that I gave money to, by the way. I paid to be there. And I didn't think I was gonna go to school, but I went, and it was a really pleasant experience. It really was. And they fucking discriminated against me. You think my ass is gonna get blown off fighting Russians? No, thank you. Not only that, I got nothing against Russians. I love Russian people. I love the Russian country. I have nothing but the utmost respect for Vladimir Putin. And I'm not interested. I would never raise a weapon at a Russian. That's just not how I roll. But again, if they want to show up here, all they gotta do is just come down here and talk to me. We'll work something out. And all I ask is that you treat us a lot better than how we're being treated now. But it's very likely that this illegitimate regime is going to start another conflict. Here's what we should be doing. One, we should be mocking Joe Brandon because this guy is a pussy. He's a fucking weak loser, a total phony. His whole life, his whole career, the guy has been on his knees. He's been on his knees, kissing ass, sucking dick. That's all he does. Same with Kamala, literally and figuratively. And now he's going to try to act like a tough guy. And he's going to put a lot of innocent Americans at risk, a lot of people who I'm friends with. And no, I'm not interested in young Americans, getting killed over Joe Brandon's fragile ego, because he's so desperate to distract Americans from the human rights abuses occurring here in this country and also north of our border. The Canadian government, that Justin Trudeau fella, he's abusing and violating the human rights of his own people. And this illegitimate government wants to drone on and on about we got to protect democracy and we got to protect blah, 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 blah. What about freedom here? What about the fact that this illegitimate regime has suspended habeas corpus, that our elections are totally bullshit? Yeah, but you expect me to get up there and, get with my regulated militia buddies and go start some shit. No, thank you. We're not interested in fighting your stupid fucking wars. We don't support your wars. We're over it. We're done. We're not going to sacrifice our children. If you're young and you don't got you think you don't got a future and you think the military is your only option, dude, come talk to me. Well, I'll set you straight. We'll figure something out. I don't think you have to risk your life for this bullshit because it ain't worth it. Even if you're fucking dirt poor and legitimately don't really have many or any options, we'll make one. We'll make something happen. Don't fucking fight for these losers. Let Pelosi send her fucking kids out there. Let Kamala Harris's stepdaughter go out there. Let Hunter Biden go out there and fight the fucking Russians. I'm not interested in this shit. And then what's so funny? All these you got the conservatives who are like, we need to be strong and send a strong message. And bro, nah, fuck you. And then you even got communists like Vosh, just shitting on the Russian government, like he knows anything about Russia. I'm not saying I do, but I'm just, Russians ain't never done shit to me. I'm not interested in any of this. And man, how disastrous it will be for this country. We're going to see even higher gas prices. We're going to see an even more bloated, just an unthinkable budget that's just going to skyrocket inflation even more so than it is already. Nothing but bad news. Nothing but bad news. All right, well, let me know what you guys think. Am I out of line saying these things? I make these videos to tell the truth and just to say what I feel. I'm not out here to fucking front and lie or make a video like the Quartering and not have a fucking opinion about anything because he's kind of a bitch. But I'm just so sick of all this. I'm just so sick of it. I don't care. Whatever happens, I hope the Russians win. Peace.